Steven Dossou. Did I say that correctly?
It's okay.
Love it. It flows. It's a beautiful name. And for a really beautiful person with an incredible journey that will bless your socks off and I'll also help you in your journeys. So welcome, Steven. I'm so glad to have you on. It's been taking a little bit for us to get this coordinated, but yay. Now are you still in Turkey? You seem to be like traveling everywhere. Okay, all the way from Turkey. Yes, so that's so great. But and you can tell us a little bit in your story about where you actually came from and how that worked out. But I'm just going to give you a 20,000-foot view of Steven and the stuff that he's done, his bio. So I'm just going to read it. So Steven founded Salesforce as a powerful speaker, certified life and business transformational coach, and has so far spoken and coached thousands of people on the subjects such as potential, life of possibilities, sales habits, impact leadership, how to bring drastic growth in your business. Woohoo. The art, I haven't heard of drastic growth, but let's do it. The art of self-coaching, beautiful, DC psychology, etc. He is interviewed by his peers as a charismatic dreamer, I love that, who undoubtedly believes in unleashing the human potential to break boundaries and consistently redefine people's limits. Gorgeous. Oh my goodness. And you have such a story. So Steven, just kind of hit us with where you came from. I mean, you've been through some stuff. You're a young guy, but you have been through some stuff. And your story is really incredible. And that's just going to bless people. So so we want to hear.
Yeah, Catherine, first of all, I just want to thank you so much for making this happen. I think nowadays, being selfless, it's something that we need to praise, we need to support, we need to value, because the truth is everybody nowadays is thinking about themselves. Okay, like in this world we are in right now, everybody's
quandary. Self.
Protecting their corners, with their masks, with their vaccines and everything, right? So Catherine, I just want to say thank you so much for being the person that you are, for standing for who you are, and that is so awesome. That is so valuable. And I guess that's why we're here, that's why we're here. Catherine, I have, how do I say this? Let me say, I have a personal culture. Okay. So whenever I do webinars or talks, I always tell people that, look, we have to have fun and we gotta be real. So to your listeners, and to yourself, I just want to first ask the permission to be real. Okay. Because we gotta be real. Nowadays, everything is fake, it's filters and Instagram. I want to be real. Okay.
Oh, please. Oh my God, that's so refreshing. Thank you. Yes, please be the real you, because that's the most glorious, beautiful you. That's the one that like you be you. That is transformational, to showing up as you and not as a, whatever. Oh, thank you for, yes, you not only have permission, I'm asking you to be real. So this will be great. This will work.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Catherine. So I'm originally from Togo. Togo is a little country in West Africa. North to the south is about 600 kilometers and east to the west is 180 kilometers. As of today, there's about 7.8 million people there. And we grew so fast. In just the last 10 years, we were about 4 million people. Okay, that tells you that. That tells you that, big time. And my family, us being nine of us, we definitely had something to do with those 7.8 million people, right? So I grew up in a little two-bedroom house.
You did your part.
Exactly, we definitely did our part. So I grew up in a two-bedroom house in Togo, West Africa. And I know what it is to have 5 boys sharing one bed, okay? I know what it is to sleep on the floor. I know what it is to sleep at night and to have some cockroaches, running around and, trying to take your space on whatever corners you are sleeping, okay?
Fighting with the cockroaches for space.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I grew up in in those little back streets of Togo, West Africa.
Mhm.
But the truth is, I mean, I usually say that I grew up in humble conditions, but the truth is we were poor, okay? And usually when you
A
grew
lot of
up
pain with that. Yeah.
sorry, what did you say?
I said there's a lot of pain with that, right? There, I mean, real poverty.
Sure,
Right.
definitely real poverty.
Mhm.
And usually when people grow up in circumstances like that,
Mhm.
it kind of shapes, a lot of who they are. Therefore, their vision of what they could be
Mhm.
becomes much smaller.
Yeah,
But truth be told,
that's the
I
truth.
just had a certain voice in me, and I call that voice the voice of God. Okay, I
Yes.
just had a certain voice in me that whispered to me every single day, and I mean literally every single day, that I could be just a little bit more than what I see around me. Okay, I mean, I love the scripture that says that we walk by faith, not by sight. So we
Yeah.
walk by not by what we see, but what we could truly be based on what we believe we can be.
Yeah.
So when I grew up and I mean went through school, I finished my high school at the age of 15, and by 18 already I was doing my first degree in economics. Um, I I was like, you know what? Here's where my country is. As of today, people still earning less than $50 per month. Okay, don't hear me well. I didn't say per day. I said per month. That's what people are living on back in my country right now.
Right.
And I looked at that. I'm like, you know what? Here is the voice that's telling me that, I could just be something different,
Right.
something a little bit more. Okay, I could be somebody perhaps of impact. I don't know what it is that I could be, but it's the voice just say, look, if you can be a little bit more courageous, if you can decide to do things differently, look at the world differently, you have the chance to be someone different. Okay?
Right.
And I listen to that voice and I say, you know what, Mom, Dad, you know what? I know that I have not even reached 18 yet, but I am gonna leave home. I'm gonna leave home and I want to go to a different country that could offer me the opportunities. I tried the United States, it was a failure. Visa wasn't given. I tried Europe, failure too.
Mhm.
And I asked myself, okay, so where is the nearest African country that could allow me those opportunities? And I took the map and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to South Africa. Now, you gotta understand, like those days I had my little hustle that I would do, sell computer accessories here and there. Now, that whatever money I had, along with the one my mom and my dad would borrow, if you put that together, it will still take me almost 6 to 7 years to buy a flight ticket. Okay. So I decided, you know what? Look, I don't know. I don't care what it takes, whether it's by flight or by walk or by whatever. I'm gonna get to that destination. And so I took my backpack, bunch of clothes, gym, this and that in it, and I was gone. Okay? And I was gone. Now the journey from one side of the continent to the next, going from one country after the other, and
Right.
meeting all people going through, very crazy situations. I mean, being at the verge of death sometimes. And when I'm talking about this, Catherine, I'm talking about real stuff. I'm talking about things that you see people that you're working with falling dead by your side.
Oh my God.
And in those 18 months, Catherine, truth be told, my family thought I was dead. Because I mean, I didn't have any,
Wow.
I didn't have any I could call home with. I didn't have any money. I remember that the phone I used then was I don't know if you remember these Nokia's 17.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But mine was something practical about mine was that first of all, I held the battery with a rubber band. The rubber band you used to hold money. Okay.
Oh, let me get my video going. Keep going.
I held my battery with those rubber bands.
Mhm.
And then my phone had no keyboard. The keyboard was in gum. Okay, so I would have a pocket of matches, and every time it would ring, I would take out the matches and excuse me, and then press the matches and pick the call. so
Wow.
so I mean, eventually, I arrived in South Africa, and I thought if I had arrived in South Africa, things would be great. But the truth is, things were not. Okay, I had done all kind of jobs that you could ever think of. Okay,
Right.
I had been a security person, living on the premises, sleeping on pieces of box. Okay, I was homeless. I had lived off dust bins. Okay, I mean, I remember when I was that security guard that was a general worker at the same time, that was a carpenter at the same time, that was the mason at the same time, and I worked at this place for 4 months. They didn't pay me a cent, and guess what I had to do to survive, Catherine? I had to live off expired food that was thrown away by a supermarket at their back door.
Oh. Hard.
So
That is a whole other level of hard. Yes.
you know what I'm saying? You know, and eventually I was renting this shack. Okay, this shack made out of cardboard, and the rent was $20, but I couldn't even afford it. Okay.
Wow.
But while I went through all those circumstances, Catherine, I'll tell you this, that voice never kept quiet. Okay. And I mean, I will meet people.
Yes.
And I'll meet people, they'll ask me, but you know, why are you going through all of this? You know, why don't you just give up and go home? I say, no, I believe in the voice. Yeah. I believe that
you were listening to the right voice. You were listening to the right voice, because there are probably a lot of voices in one way or the other speaking to you, and you were listening to the right voice.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
When things seem to reverse and get worse as you were pursuing and following the voice, right?
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
Wow. So wow. Keep going. That's good.
So I remember very well, it was a Wednesday afternoon, and I was at my street hawking stand, because I mean, at some point I managed to, you know, gather like just a little bit of money. I think my capital was what, like $30. So I bought, like, you know, a couple of things. I was selling like cigarettes, Apple, and this and that, just whatever that I could afford my $20 rent with. Okay, and just keep me going. And be in that shape that mice will come and eat your food and bully you on top. Okay, I mean, you had
the cockroaches and the mice. This is
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
God. I'm sorry. That's not funny, but it kind of is. So
it is
going.
Yeah. So Catherine, I mean, that Wednesday afternoon, I went back to my street hawking stand, you know, like excited more than ever, enthusiastic more than ever. And I'll be calling people, hi, ma'am, how are you? Come closer. Let me tell you why. If you buy one apple of mine, your day can change for the better. Hi, sir, how are you? If you can just stop today for 1 second and buy some of my biscuit, I'm telling you that your wife's gonna love you more. And I will be there, right? Excited, enthusiastic, you know, that street hawking stand, not knowing that people were looking at me. Okay, I mean, I love
you. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this quote of T.D. Jakes that said, look, if you don't know where you have to go, just take a step, because where you are may lead to where you need to be, so that you can be where you have to be.
Right. So God can direct a moving vessel, but if you're stuck there, he can't direct you. He can just do something. Exactly. Take the wrong step and I'll direct it into the right path. Yeah. Wow.
So somebody just came to me, the gentleman came to me and said, hey, listen, I mean, I love your energy. You know, I see you every day. How about you come tomorrow morning for an interview, okay, at Massmart. So Massmart is a division of Walmart in South Africa, okay? Now the company that I was going to interview for was actually a company that supplied things to Walmart, you know, so they had different stands across all the country in all these Walmart shops. So I went to the interview. The interviewer's name, you know, was a blonde woman. She had long hair. And as soon as I opened the door, she looked at me. She's like, whoa, like, what kind of confidence you have? Like, you got the job just like that, Catherine. I was like, okay.
Showed up.
What is God doing here? Okay.
Of course, we're not confused about how the doors got opened, right? It's not some sort of mystical, mastical. It is a God who is wild about his son. Gorgeous. Keep going. Sorry.
So I asked, so what is the job? And then she said, you have to sell vacuum cleaners. Vacuum cleaners? Now, Catherine, you gotta understand, at that point, I was about 19 going, but I had never seen a vacuum cleaner in my life. Yeah. Okay, I mean, at home we swept with brooms made out of palm trees. Okay, so I didn't know what the vacuum cleaner was, and I had to sell that stuff. So I got given a
little bit of pressure there. Okay, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so I got given a sales script, and I said, okay, cool. So I went home, studied the sales script to the best I can, added my bit of a touch, and I came back the following day. Now, the following day when I came back, Catherine, from that day, I worked for 3 years, nonstop, 7 days a week, 12 to 15 hours every single day, sometimes going door to door to sell vacuum cleaners and talk to people. And with the blessing of God, sales kept pouring in all the time. And I mean, I was in a small town, but my sales were surpassing people that were in the major cities. So the head of the companies couldn't understand what was going on. And me not knowing, they would come and investigate, all the time. And they would see me there at whatever time of the day or whatever day that they came, I would be there doing my thing. Hi, ma'am, how are you? Come closer. Let me tell you why you need to buy this vacuum cleaner for your house. Hi, sir, how are you? If you can stop right now, I will tell you why this is the best machine in the country. And it was a Monday, and I received a letter that, hey, listen, we love what you do. How about you come upstairs, okay? You come and play with the top dogs at the head office in the major cities. Now, going from a vacuum cleaner salesperson, Catherine, I became an area manager handling over 60 people. 6 months after that, I became a regional manager handling over, and I mean, when I'm saying handling, I mean managing over 200 people and accounting for sales that are more than $20 million every single year. I was like, whoa, living a 2-bedroom house in a Togo, West Africa, having days not knowing what to eat or drink, sleeping in a place where I had to battle with the mice for space, being at the street corner, selling things that nobody would want, and being where I am right now. I mean, come on, can only be God's doing, And yeah, so after that, I left there. I started another business, and that business, to my tough luck, didn't go well. Okay, it crashed. And at that point, Catherine, I had lost everything. Okay, literally everything that I had worked for all those 5 years. At that point, I had my own house, I had 2 cars, I had a beautiful girlfriend. Everything was gone. So the question I asked myself,
a beautiful girlfriend, she
yeah.
Well, what's wrong with her? She trucked it. Just because things tanked, that's really sad. Well, I don't know why she trucked it. Sorry, not my place to judge. Anyway, keep going. We're sorry.
Well, you're right. It was exactly because of that. So, Catherine, at that point, I had to ask myself a question, and the question was that, yes, I had the favor of God to be to achieve the things I could, but what was it that was in me that enabled me to do that? What was the skill? What gift did I have? And I understood that it was a gift of communication. It was a gift of being able to speak to people and bring the best out of them. And if any sales manager will tell you that your job is not to focus on sales, but your job is to focus on how do you bring the best out of people.
Isn't that beautiful? What a God concept, right? Because once again, getting past self and focusing on the other. That's what love does. It focuses on the other. That's gorgeous. And now we're talking in sales terms. Gorgeous. Oh, keep going. Yes.
Yeah. So that was about 4.5 years ago. And I decided to, you know what? I'm gonna dive into this speaking and coaching business because I mean, this is something that I love to do when I'm speaking and I'm inspiring people to transform and indeed take the step that they need to take so that they can step into their purpose, their true calling. When I do that, I mean, I don't see time pass. Okay, I can do that between today and 1,000 years to come. And that's where I am right now. And that's what I've been doing for the past 4.5 years. It's been an awesome journey, sometimes tough, but you know what? I will not give it up for anything in the world. So basically that is my in summary, my story. Yeah. And that is me.
That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. What I mean, and there's so many things I love about that because man, you didn't allow your, poverty to give you poverty of mind because you listened to the right voice. You didn't allow poverty to define who you were. And so you listened to this voice about, wait a second, I was created for something greater than this. There's something in me that's greater than, battling for space with the cockroaches. I mean, you know what I mean? And then you have this, but let's be very clear. In following that voice, you really had to push. This was not a, wow, I have the favor of God. Ding! No, it's like a little magic wand. you really had to go through whatever it was that you needed to go through, because it's like your face was set like flint. I'm going to follow this voice even when things are reversing, and I'm so connected with it that I'm connected to God within me, so that I'm excited about, no, this apple is not an ordinary apple, it's an inspired apple. Right? And you can like sell your apple because it's about blessing the other person. That's incredible. But then even in that, getting up to kind of this incredible success with the trappings, yay. I mean, it's like he adds all these things, and then things tank. And I think what's even a greater success story is after, man, you get slammed again. I am down again. Maybe it wasn't real. Maybe this was all fake. Maybe you could have allowed yourself to dwindle in that place, but you're still listening to the same voice and connecting. What is this? It's kind of like the divine within you. What is that spark that's me, but then greater than me, right? It's kind of one with God, right? It's greater than me. I'm here to inspire people. I'm here to coach. I'm here to lead. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to help you connect with that divine inspiration within you, who you are in that, and who you're one with to drive that, so you fulfill the very reasons that you were created for before the foundation of the world. And that's incredible. And now you're doing it. And I love it, because when you hit that zone, and it's a journey, I think a lot of times God, like it is necessary to go through these hard places, because it's that place where it really purifies who we're relating to, why we're doing it, and how we see ourselves, how we see God, how we see other people, how we see our purpose. And like, there's no other way to do that except for to push through whatever challenges that are coming up and slapping us in the face, and maybe slapping us down when we thought we were up, and all that kind of stuff. We all have stories. And then we come out the other side, and then you're really tracking with what you were created to do. And that has supernatural power. So yay you, yay God, but yay you, because that is inspiring. That's the breath of God breathing on something, so that we're greater than what we knew, right? We're greater, we're tracking with God, who's kind of the great one or whatever. That's amazing. Well, yay. So now you've written, I think, 2 books. Is that correct? I looked on Amazon. Is it 2?
Well, yeah, I mean 2 on Amazon, but I've got 2 other eBooks. So in total, 4. 4
books. Yes. Brilliant. So, and in those books, I'm assuming, I honestly didn't get, just full disclosure, I didn't get a chance to read them, but share some, help us out here, because there's wisdom and that you have in those books, whatever you want to share, even, or just taking from your, your coaching and your speaking. Help us out. How do we get there from here?
In my book, Be Transformed, a 10-week journey to your true self, which actually is a guide of how to live free of fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem. In that book, I talk about my story. I use my story as an example, okay? Because here's the thing, Catherine. I've come to understand, okay, some people may argue that I have been on earth for only a couple of 29 years, but okay, I get that. However, I believe that I was blessed enough to go through enough to give me enough wisdom, and through that wisdom I came to understand that in life, whatever we go through, it always leads to 2 paths. Either we build confidence in that, after that particular thing, or we develop a syndrome that I call the syndrome of the 3 toughest demons of mankind, and those are fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem. You get what I'm saying? So
that's brilliant.
Yeah, so
that is wisdom beyond your years. Yes, but it's wisdom beyond many of our years, because a lot of us, we get older, we still don't get it. So this is brilliant. Keep going.
yeah. So us being able, okay, being able to live a life, okay, in which we are able to step into a zone, and that's, you said it earlier, a zone. I call it the transformation zone or the ablafo zone. I'll talk about that a little bit more. Okay, so in the 14th century, much older before, there were this group of warriors that existed in West Africa. They were called the ablafos, and they only served
You said ablafos.
ablafo.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Haven't heard of that.
Yeah, so they only served royalty, they only
Ah.
protected kings and queens. Okay. And what was practical about these warriors were that, I mean, there were males, there were females in that little, this secret service.
Very
What was
cool.
practical
Yes.
about these warriors were that they never went to any mission, or they never protected the palace with weapons. They were weaponless.
Wow. Wow.
Exactly.
Yay.
Yeah, they were weaponless. Yeah, even if
Impressive.
they had to go to a fight or a mission or whatever, where all their enemies had weapons, they never ever used weapons, and they were chosen only then by nature. Okay, so they were chosen by someone spiritual, in the tribe, and that person was chosen by God. Yeah.
Wow.
So these ablafos were known basically to be consistently in that zone where they experience no fear, no doubt, no.
Wow. And it doesn't sound like it was an ego thing, because sometimes we can get, we can start in a good place where I'm having no fear because I'm tracking with God. And then we sort of develop an identity where it's about kind of us, like we become our own source, and look at me, I'm the master. And God has called you to master fear, but he doesn't call us to do anything apart from him.
Yeah.
And so it's not about glorifying ourselves, it's about tracking with him. And then the glory that's intrinsically in us is released, and that place doesn't fear. Right.
Yeah. And that is the trap. That the trap is to want to do things or thinking that you're doing them just by your own mind. Okay.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, that's where I love the quote of Paul that says that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Right. So Catherine, so in the book Be Transformed, I talk about how in our divine nature, okay, as creations of God, how we are called to be in that ablafo zone where we are meant to live and achieve and fulfill our purpose by living free. And I mean free of fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem, because we not only rely on ourselves, but we rely, based on, to rely on the true laws of the kingdom. And in those laws of the kingdom, there are no fear, there are no doubt, and there are no self-esteem. And how we do that, and it's what I tabled in the book Be Transformed. So basically in that book, I talk about how, yes, for me, my journey was about breaking away, or let me not say is about, because it's
ongoing.
Yes.
Has anybody arrived yet? I don't think so. Yes. Yeah, keep going.
So my journey is about fighting, the mindset of lack. All right, now listen to this, guys. This is gonna be very, very important, because I don't know who's listening to this, but if you miss this part of the interview, you miss almost everything. Okay, so hear me well on this. Okay, so for me, the journey is about fighting or breaking away the mindset of lack. Okay, that was bestowed upon me from my circumstances growing up in a 2-bedroom house in Togo, West Africa. Okay, now how about the person that had everything in terms of monetary value, but was told every single day of their lives that they are not worthy?
Yeah, that's a lack mindset.
Exactly. Yeah. How about the wife that is craving, okay, for the love of the husband, that continuously turns around and tell her that, yo, listen, I don't love you, but also you'll never be loved by anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about the little boy that was told continuously every single time, by the people around him that he will never succeed?
Yeah.
Now that is the mindset of that is the
poverty
life that
lack
they need.
mindsets.
You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Yeah. So my battle might have been to break away from that poverty, but every single person has their own battle. And how we are able to win that battle is to be transformed by the renewing of our minds and believe that as long as God is on our side, we will come out winners, game changers, and overcomers.
And that is so true. And it's kind of more that we're on God's side, because God is always championing his kids, but he's not going to champion them to be less than who they are. And depending on anything else but him. As you remain in me and me in you, you'll bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing of eternal value. We can do lots of things that build up kingdoms to ourselves, but those ultimately crumble. But doing things with him, we're going to do something that will bless the world and be blessed in the process. And he will not let us be less than who we are. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Keep going. This is really good. What else?
Yeah. So, So I mean, talking back to this whole concept of living free of fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem.
Yes.
I want to highlight, okay, that it is very, very important that we understand that every single body is created with a purpose. Okay. And purpose, I mean, if we had to be a little smart and define purpose, I will define purpose in the words of Dr. Miles Monroe, another great man, that says that purpose is the intent of creation of a thing. And purpose is only defined by the creator of the thing.
Yes, thank you.
That's what I'm saying. So I believe that, I mean, if a tree serves a purpose, how about an entire human being?
Hello.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I refuse, okay, to subscribe to the idea that that human beings are purposeless. I refuse that.
Thank you. Exactly.
We have a purpose, and everybody has to find that purpose which the Creator created them for, and step into that and fulfill that.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's when you step into that purpose, and that's when that search, that thing that is in you that's pushing you from left to right. You're trying this today, you're trying that tomorrow, it's not working. You want to do this, you want to do that thing that's pushing you to travel from America to Asia, and then go back to South America, and then come back to Middle East, trying to look for something that is not far away, but it's simple as confessing God. And when you find that purpose, when you step into that zone, that is when we're talking about you meeting yourself and you meeting the Creator. Do you get what I'm saying?
Purpose and identity are intrinsically linked. So who you are was crafted for a unique purpose, and your unique purpose was crafted for who you are. And this was settled before the foundation of the world, before you were ever sent to planet Earth. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're intrinsically. So when there's this interplay of identity and purpose, and your purpose is not who you are, but who you are is already established, and your purpose is an outpocketing, an outgrowth, a byproduct of who you are, but they're intrinsically linked. And you're not, until you're really settled in who you are, that purpose won't be fully unveiled, or you won't be firing 100% in your purpose, because they're interwoven. And it's a kind of a living, inspired exchange of identity and purpose, but we do get into trouble when we get our identity from our purpose. That's a lot of my testimony. But our purpose is intrinsic as an expression of who we are. And so we're not firing in the fullness of the expression of who we are until we're flowing in purpose. So it's really important, but we have to get at least portions of our identity settled and secure without fear, right? That confidence, that self-esteem, because you know who you are, because the one who created you has really unveiled it to you. And then you walk out in that purpose, and it's more than just you doing something you were crafted to do and your natural skills, but there's a supernatural empowerment, because you are going to run into roadblocks, but that's where you're firing on all cylinders and you are fulfilled. And that is where you're giving your greatest contribution to humanity.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Sorry, you just hit a hot button. Sorry, didn't mean to take the mic. Here's the mic.
Catherine, I mean, great teaching there. I love all the things you say. And you know what? I want to echo on that a little bit.
Yes, please.
And put people into this perspective. And I love using nature. All right, like so like let's imagine a tree, like a tall tree. Like I usually talk about a baobab tree, and Westerners haven't always seen baobab trees. So think about a mango tree or an avocado tree, whatever tree you can think
I think
about.
we had to think of your tree. Your tree's awesome. Let's do your tree. Let's stretch all these little Western things. Let's do that.
Okay, so I want you to imagine a tree, okay, like a massive, huge tree, okay, that has all these branches and is covering the forest. Now, what that tree once was a seed. Okay, so here's the thing. What I'm trying to get at is the size of that tree. Okay, that huge tree was packaged into that little tiny seed.
Amazing. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's why I love the quote that says, look at a man as how he could be, and he will grow into becoming that.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying that, I mean, I don't know who's listening to me right now, but I am of the ultimate, God-given confidence that there is somebody somewhere right now that is that massive tree packaged in that small seed, but that is holding themselves back into unleashing that potential that God has bestowed upon them.
Wow. So let me just ask you, sorry. Sorry. Go for it. You were on a roll and I messed with your roll. Sorry. I was just going to ask you, because you were saying they're this huge tree, and they're packaged in this little seed, but there's something holding them back. What is holding them back? What is holding them back from being all they need to be?
Let me tell you a story. Okay? Like I promised at the beginning of the interview to be real. Let me tell you a story. Okay?
Yes.
So in this journey, in South Africa, like trying this and trying that, I at some point was working at this warehouse for this white South African, and I'm sorry if I have to use the term white. I use it for a reason, because if anybody knows,
white is different from any other color, and there are implications. So it's okay. You're not being yucky. You're being good. Just use it. This is helpful.
Okay. So if anybody knows the story of, the history of South Africa, then you know that it was a country of apartheid, and where white people differently and black people. So as of today, there are still traces, like scars of all those things. So I was working at this point at this warehouse, where I was that little security guard and that kept the premises, and I did everything. I washed trucks, I washed the floors, I did everything on the premise. Okay. Now, the work I'm never ever afraid or scared to work. I loved work. But it was a treatment that I got from my South African white boss that left a scar in me till today. What was happening?
Sorry.
Martin would say things like, and his name is Martin. Martin will say things like, you are black. you are meant to destroy things, you'll never be anything. The day that hurts me the most was that day when I was sent to go and offload more than 7 tons of cement by myself.
Right.
Now it was 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I had not eaten a thing. Okay. So I went there and worked and worked and worked. In just about 11 p.m. I passed out. When I came back to the premise the following day, when Martin saw me, he wasn't like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, what happened? Like, why you come back?"
As a
No, when
person
Martin
to a
saw me,
person, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? When Martin saw me, Martin was like, "Now, when I'm doing this, these are beatings, okay? In your face, in your body, punching everything." Martin was like, "Hey, you bloody monkey, you will never be anything. You are useless." Catherine.
Sorry.
I mean,
It's so
you know,
painful.
punch me, beat me with all those words, and Catherine, like, I gotta tell you something, okay? That it hit me from the bottom of my soul, okay? Like it shook me to my core. I didn't know I stood there. I mean, I thought I had grown tough with everything I had been through before that, but you know what?
That
I
cut
didn't know
you in
the
the
tears,
heart. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
like
I'm
the
sorry.
tears just
That's
came down.
horrible.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what? The truth is that there are many people that, for me, Martin was the one punching, okay? But there are other people that are being punched by life.
Yeah.
There are other people that are being punched by tougher circumstances. There are people that are being punched by cancer. There are people that are being punched by their own parents.
Sure.
There are people that are being punched emotionally, physically by the people they love the most.
Yeah.
And when we go through those things, Catherine, on the other side of those things, what is there is pain, okay? On the other side of those things, what is there is fear. On the other side of those things, what is there is self-doubt. What is there is believing ourselves to low self-esteem. Now, I had a choice to listen to Martin and take in what he said to me, that, oh, it's true that I am black, I will never be anything, that I'm a bloody monkey, I am meant to be nothing. Or listen to what God has written for me, that I am created at his own image.
Yes.
Therefore, I can do all things that he can do.
Yes.
So if you ask me, Catherine, that what holds people's back, yes, those are the things that hold them back, are those life experiences that has beaten their potential out of them. Now, what I'm trying to tell these people is that the mark of God has not left you. It's still in you, okay?
Yes.
What you have to do is to
Please.
step into a place that you take that back, that you own that you forget about the voices of Martin in your life, that you forget about the voices of that is beating you in your life, that you let go of those things that had tried to beat your potential, your God-given ability, the blessings out of you, that you claim back that's who you are, and you step into that zone where you are invincible.
Absolutely, you do it.
Oh, yeah.
Those evil, which voice are you going to listen? There's an evil voice telling you you're like less than human. What the hell was that? Or less than, or not good enough, or dirty, or whatever the lies are. It's a lying voice. And then you've got the one in you that's telling you, and you may not even know who it is, but it's the one who's telling you, no, you're everything I created you to be. Don't listen to, and that is the battle. It's the battle in the mind. Which voice are you going to listen to? Which voice? And it's a daily thing. This is why, it's not why I was saying we just don't arrive, because I mean, they're you do develop and grow and all that kind of thing, but it is a battle, because there's always a voice to tell you what you're not. There's always a voice to tell you what you are that you shouldn't be. There's always a voice that will kick you in your most vulnerable place, right? In the most vulnerable place. You're a woman, you're nothing. You're black, you're nothing. You're white, you're nothing. You're whatever, you're nothing. You're not, you're poor, you're nothing. There's always a voice to tell you that, but there's another voice. And boy, this is where the battle, and you're going to sometimes have to go really deep, because when you're cut to the quick and you're hemorrhaging out, you're going to have to go deep to the place that says, God, who do you say I am? See, Jesus suffered this as well. People say this, people that, but what do you say I am? Who do you say I am? That's what the Jesus battle was. I really am the Son of God. No, I really am. And that comes with a bunch of stuff that I don't want to do, but because of love, I will do it. And he had to battle that in his humanity. And this is what we battle in our humanity to a human being. And, some people start off so privileged, but it's amazing because peeling back, because I do so much coaching myself, and there's people with these like, wow, you have got it made. And, maybe certainly compared to where you came from, they have it made, but there's all sorts of alienation and garbage and crap and hell that they're dealing with that, a lot of times, it's just not obvious. Everybody, to a human being, the most privileged human being, has this battle. And then, and some people, they just have more unfair circumstances, but whatever the circumstances are, because everybody has unfair. And so it's a question of which voice are you going to listen to? Which one are you going to allow to define you and allow to tell you what you were created for? And that's where the battle is. And that's why you've flourished, even when you've been slapped down. You've always risen to the top again, because you listened, you chose. And I'm sure you didn't do it perfectly. None of us do it perfectly. It's not a matter of doing it perfectly. It's a matter of doing it enough and continuing to do it. And, when you're successful, because you will get success the way we, externally define it, with that success will happen to you and whatever those, but you still listen to that voice, because you never separate yourself from God, who is one. You never like, wow, okay, I got it made. I could thank you, Jesus. I'll just take it from here. No, that is setting yourself up for dismal collapse, because we're all of that. We have divine nature in us, but we can't operate in that apart from God. And so that's incredible. Stephen, thank you for sharing that story. That's a hard story to share with a white person, right? But thank you for it. That was such an honor. And I'm so sorry you suffered that. It's not okay. Well, I know you recovered, but it's painful to hear, right? That anybody suffers from being made to feel that way. That's not okay. And that, that's that. And we all have to own where we've made people feel that way. Even if it's not a Black issue, it's a whatever, it's a woman issue, it's you're poor, it's your whatever, you're not smart, you're fat, whatever. We hurt each other. We got issues. Like, we're nasty sometimes. So anyway, don't want to derail it. This is amazing. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That helps us. That helps us be better. And it's such an insight into, it really drove you. I mean, that's a devastating blow, right? And man, like, how do I recover? Because this is helpful. This is where the rubber meets. How do I recover from a blow like that, where I'm made to feel like I'm dirt? How do I recover from that? And you just listen to that same voice that, he never changes. Like, he never like changes his story. He never changed. Like, no, this is who I said. No, I'm still saying that. Yeah, I know this, but this is who you, this is what I have for you. And it doesn't change. He may unveil more of it, but it's always the same essence. And that's your safety point. That's the place that you can retreat back to again and again and again. And we'll need to retreat back to it for the rest of our lives. Yeah. And true. You're helping us do that.
True that. Yeah. My pleasure. That's what I was made for. That's my purpose.
Yeah. That's why you're so beautiful, because you're just being you. And in that place of the beauty of who you are, you're doing this beautiful thing to help people, to help all of us. I mean, I know this stuff, but you're helping me. Thank you.
Pleasure.
No, yeah, it's gorgeous.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for making it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, we're at the top of the hour. Dang, what happened? It went. Oh my goodness. Stephen. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, first of all, for being Stephen, and honestly, for being willing to go through everything you've gone through, And then coming and sharing it in such an authentic, gorgeous way that changes lives. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, I hope you come back, and please, oh my goodness, Stephen, keep in touch. I want to hear what you're up to, what's happening. How can I champion you in that? Clearly, Stephen's got some amazing stuff that's just inspired. So I'll have the links for all your contact information. You can get stuff on Amazon, all of that. And he has freebies. I noticed that he's such a giving person. It's beautiful. So thank you. And I hope you'll come back.
Awesome. I would love to come back.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
you are loved. Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, share this. Oh my God, people need to hear this. Share. And thank you for joining us. Thank you, Stephen.
So much, Catherine,
yes,
for having me.
Absolutely. Everybody, have a wonderful day. And you too, Stephen.